Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to our Facebook Live. We are going to have the unconference today in honor of our conference that we should be having tomorrow on Saturday, the 25th. As you know, as a part of our way of helping you achieve your goals and dreams at I've Decided, we have 3 motivational leadership conferences for you every year. And tomorrow was our first half-day conference scheduled. And of course, we won't be able to do that. And the good news is all the speakers that were scheduled to speak tomorrow will be speaking at our September the 12th half-day conference. So that's the good news there. We're still going to get to see them. We're super excited about that. But I asked my good friends, Derek Tennant, to join us. You guys remember Derek and Julie? He was actually our very first speaker. So for some of you guys that are new to I've Decided, that weren't around 6 years ago, well, Derek was. He was here with Julie, his sister, the very first year, and then came back the second year because we all loved you so much, Derek. Came back the second year as our MC.
You stopped loving me the last 4, right?
We didn't stop loving you. We just, we had to have other people like Randy. A lot of you guys remember Randy from a couple of years ago, just super high energy. So I just thought it'd be kind of fun to have a little reminiscing session and do a little blast from the past and catch up with these guys and see how you're doing. And for those of you who might be watching that aren't familiar with I've Decided, my name is Kim Martin. I'm the founder of I've Decided. And our purpose is pretty simple. We help you achieve your goals and dreams, whatever they may be. And our mission is success. We want to make sure that you are successful in that. And so I've been touting all this time that no matter what, we are going to help you achieve your goals and dreams from however we can, wherever we can, doing what we can. That is our mission, and we're going to keep doing that. So I am excited to be here today with these guys and excited, hopefully, to be coming at you live on Facebook if it's all working. If it's all working properly, we'll find out at some point. But if not, we're recording it, so we'll post the recording later. So, Derek, I know everybody's dying to know, how are you? How's Julie? What's happening? What's going on?
Yeah, we're great. People may not remember my name as Derek. They may remember my name as Julie's brother. I made the mistake of bringing Julie on the first time, so everybody gets to know Julie. If you didn't get to meet Julie, Julie is my sister who has Down syndrome, which is an extra chromosome. My grandfather told her she doesn't have an extra chromosome, but you and me are missing it. And he called it the love chromosome. And Julie is nothing short of amazing. She speaks with me all over the world and just changes lives. And as motivational speakers, you can imagine this whole virus thing is, everything I do requires a crowd, which is now illegal. So that's a challenge, but it's within the obstacles. One of the things we talked about 6 years ago is every obstacle presents opportunities, and our job is to find those opportunities and celebrate those opportunities. And through this whole thing, without any other streams of income, really, Julie and I have focused on her apparel business, which was kind of like a little side thing. So we've been focusing on that, and it's been a lot of fun. It's juliescoolshirts.com is her site. And we started a YouTube page with it, where now every order, Julie will make a personal video to that person, and we email to them saying, thanks for ordering. As we're packing that shirt, they get a video of their shirt getting packed. There's no way there would have been time to do that had we not had all this extra time, so that's kind of fun. And the lesson is that through every obstacle, there's always opportunities. We just have to be available to find and to celebrate those opportunities. So I'm having to live what I tell other people to do,
Right.
In this time, for sure.
That's awesome. So Randy, I hear you moved to Florida. What the heck?
I did. Life is about choices, right? And so sometimes somebody has to choose to be amongst the palm trees, right? But You know, it's one of those situations that my mom, who had lived with us a long time, she came down to Florida and we decided to get near family. And, you know, that's important.
Yes, for sure. I wish, I guess I love Florida. It's one of my favorite places to be. So I will say I'm a little jealous, but whatever. We're hanging out here in Illinois doing all right. So are you in New York right now, Derek?
I am, yeah.
Okay, at your parents'.
I don't think when I did 6 years ago, I wasn't. Now I don't have a house or an apartment. I travel exclusively.
Oh
Like
yeah,
everything I own is in a carry-on bag. I don't even know if you know that. I mean, I like
I
all of
didn't
my
know.
possessions are in a carry-on. That's why I only have the 7 shirts.
That's why you only have 7 shirts.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point. And I only travel. I live in hotels and everything. So thankfully, my folks, you know, and Julie live in Syracuse and they have an extra room. So I've been able to crash here. And thankfully as well, I love my family. So, you know, we're
Right.
having, it's been a lot of good quality time.
Reffing for them.
Yeah, so I spent 23 years as an NCAA women's basketball referee, mostly in the Midwest, and some amazing experiences, leadership lessons, team building opportunities. Talk about failure. I mean, we screwed up every day, right? We never wanted to admit it, but referees don't always make good calls. But spent 23 years doing that, and I retired from the court. And I also retired from the corporate world. And like you said, I've been blessed to be doing this, traveling the country for the last 7 years and inspiring leaders and teams to achieve their maximum potential. And but one thing we were talking about, you know, with sports, and obviously right now sports are pretty much shut down. No different than Derek and I. You know, we're our businesses. We can't go out and see people, which is what makes today just great to at least be able to invest in people. But every year, every season comes to an end. You know, we always said that in the basketball world, the referees would get out there from the end of October through March, and we'd have that season where we were working, and then that time would end. And a lot of people call it the off season. And I don't call it the off season. I call it the training season. And so right now, some people are saying, well, we're kind of in an off season of our lives. No, you're in a training season. What are you doing to prepare to get ready for the next thing? There's always that opportunity that we're focused on something to continue that journey of success. And if we just sit back and say, well, I'm off, well, off, it usually means no activity. And we all need breaks. But I really rather call it the training season and focus on what we got to do next. And there's things that we can still do today. As a matter of fact, my wife and I are going to do a FaceTime tonight, and we're going to get on this platform called Trickster, and we're going to play euchre virtually with friends of ours in Illinois. And so there's things that we can constantly be doing versus saying, I now have to turn everything off. And I think this is such a valuable lesson that we can utilize all the time. So still miss my sports though, man. I just wish I could turn on a game or go somewhere, but it'll come back. It'll come back.
Derek, can you share a little bit about some of your obstacles that you've overcome really and truly to get to where you are today, and just inspire people? I just think it's so inspiring.
I appreciate your saying, you know, obstacles I've overcome. I feel more like I'm in the process of overcoming things. I don't know that we ever overcome anything or should overcome anything, because I try to still use it as fuel. But essentially, you know, I was a kid and sports were a huge part of my life. I MVP'd in 5 sports, blah, blah, blah. And then one day I just had a headache and I laid down. I went into a coma. They told my parents I would die that day. And I didn't. So that's pretty cool. You know?
Thank God. So glad you didn't.
Yeah, I had brain surgery. Usually I have really short hair so you can see my scar, because it's kind of cool. My scar is in the shape of a question mark, and they don't know what happened to me. So I think that's pretty funny. You know, like I don't even think the doctor had to do that. You know, they put a metal plate in my head. So now I can change my mind with a magnet. That's really weird, you know. Sorry. But I lived in a wheelchair. I had to start my life over like I was a baby. I had to learn how to walk and talk and not cognitively. I still could talk. I just couldn't physically talk. You know what I mean? Like, so I had to physically learn everything all over again. And it was a pretty long process just getting to walk and then, working on other things. And the end result is the reason that I'm sitting at this angle is because my left side's paralyzed. You can't even really tell, but we always think that like when you think you have a bad hair day, nobody else notices, right? So it's natural, but I can't use half of my body. Like you do the YMCA, I do the LOL, Sometimes I feel left out. This is hard when I can't hear laughter, but I'm all right,
Well, you can, if you see me laughing, it's funny.
I'm laughing.
I'm like, I think there's laughter there. But, the point is, so I try to teach people to look on the right side instead of look on the bright side, but that's not something, I still learn things daily, and there's still challenges that not only me, but everybody has. And overcoming, I think, is a process. And that's, we all have obstacles, and my choice is to try to use those obstacles as opportunities. But what it doesn't mean is that you're going to like the obstacle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like being paralyzed. I love my life and I'm happy with who I am, but I wish I could use my other arm. Julie, my sister, it's hard for me to talk without relating things back to Julie. She has Down syndrome, and she says, I have Down syndrome. He's paralyzed, but we love our life. And when we speak, and it's the unspoken message is, what's your problem? Or not that harshly, but we all have something. The way I say it is, we all have a left arm. We have something. Mine's just a little more obvious. Funny side note, and then sometimes we talk about, Julie and I will talk about, we have a brother and sister. Both of them are married with kids. We love being uncle and aunt. But Julie and I are both single, and she'll make a point to say, but it doesn't matter. You can love your life. It doesn't matter your situation. So that's kind of the theme. We were in St. Louis. We did a big event, and then they put us on TV to interview us. And they said, hey, we loved your presentation. Can you tell us a little bit about your story? And they give me the microphone, and I'm confident. I'm like, you know what? I said, Julie can tell you. And I give Julie the microphone. Because, as you know, everybody would rather talk to Julie than me. And she looks right in the camera on TV, and she's so confident. And she goes, yeah. She goes, we're both handicapped. She goes, I have Down syndrome, and he's single. The cameraman drops the camera.
Drop the mic.
I start crying because I'm laughing so hard. And she realizes that she, combined two of our talks. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I go, no, Julie, don't be. I'm like, I've never written a line funnier than that. Like, I'm going to use that the rest of my life. So,
that is hilarious.
That line was used as an opportunity to make my show better, So.
Right. Well, the natural material, that's what makes it so funny, is it's just natural material that just naturally happens when you're surrounded with someone who really is just honest and just doesn't have a filter and kind of just shares what's on her heart. I mean, just lots of funny stories.
He sure does, man. And we talking about the overcoming thing. One thing I wanted to share is, I don't even know if you know this, that I played basketball. Basketball was not my favorite sport. Football was, and what I was the best at. But after I was paralyzed and started walking and everything, I still had a passion for sports. I coached semi-pro football, but I was able to play basketball overseas with one arm and one leg. Wow. Not like a special league. Yeah, I played in the Philippines and I played in Mexico. I was a lot younger than I am now, so that doesn't change. But yeah, in like the 90s, I played over in the Philippines and I played in Mexico, literally using only one arm and walking with a limp. So it presented a lot of challenges and it was a very unique situation. But the tendency as a speaker is to say, so you can do anything you put your mind to. And Randy, I don't know if you share that line in your talk, but I hate that line. You can do anything you put your mind to. No, you can't. That's stupid. I mean, think about that. You can do anything you put your mind to. Like, what if I want to fly? Am I going to fly? No, but that's not a negative. I mean, there's things in our lives that are impossible and we can't focus on that. The fact that I can't fly doesn't make me sad, but what everybody can do is start here and get to here. We can always be in a state of overcoming and always be improving. And that's what I try to do to this day. I mean, I still learn things that I can do that I didn't think about. And my obstacle, my disability, whatever you call it, we all have them, has presented me with things that never would have happened. I don't know that I would have been a motivational speaker. I don't know that I would have been a comedian. Maybe I would have played for the Jets, or I don't know, I mean, but the things that, and that doesn't make one of those better than the other one. It's just that your obstacles and everything kind of change the path. And the opportunity is exciting. And our job, I think, is to embrace those things, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah,
awesome.
I think, and I loved what Derek was saying. And I also have to say that I hate that line that you can do anything that you set your mind to, right? So my story is my story. And I wrote down 3 things when Derek was talking. And the first thing I wrote down was that everyone has a story, and that your story is constantly being written. And it's not about comparing stories. It's not about necessarily looking back and saying, I want my story to be different. It's your story. And part of my story is that my high school sweetheart that I'd been married to for 13 years, and we had 2 young boys at home, we had a journey where she was diagnosed with an incurable cancer, and she passed away when she was 36. And so at 37 years of age, I'm looking at my life going, this is not the story I would have written. And then it dawned on me, we all have that in our life. We all have a story. And so the second thing I wrote down when Derek was talking, and it's really focused on what I speak about, right? My purpose is to help people increase their performance, maximize their potential, and be fulfilled in life. And so the second thing I wrote down when Derek was talking is that we have to utilize our story to do what we can to influence the world, wherever your influence sphere may be. We don't all get to be on stages. We don't all get to be celebrities. Some of us live in a small town. Some of us have a small family. Some of us are working at a metal finishing factory, and our influence is right there with those people. Some people are teachers, and they're working with underprivileged children that right now are having to have their parents drive them to a school every day so that they can get fed, because that is their only means. That's the sphere of influence. So the power is taking your story and your sphere of influence. And it's then the third thing that I wrote down. What are you pursuing? What difference are you trying to make for your family, your community, in your work? Right now, I'm in the process of writing a new book, and it's called Silver Platter Service: How to Create a Culture of Excellence. And the pursuit isn't, so many times we hear people saying we're on the pursuit of perfection. That's nonsense. Perfection cannot be attained. We should be on the pursuit of excellence in each and everything we do. Whatever your gift is, whatever your skill is, wherever your sphere of influence is, when you take your story and you do your best to positively influence the community in which you live in, to constantly, as you said, get a little bit better, that's the pursuit of excellence. And when we do that, we change our lives, we change the world, and really it's when we find the most joy, because we're now living out a pursuit of changing others' lives in a positive way by using our own story, to bring that forward. And so to me, I do share a little bit of my story, Kim, but most of the time, as you know, I want to talk about how people can utilize what they're doing to make a difference in their daily lives. And it's not just about improving the bottom line at work or improving the test scores in a school or making more money. It's about making a difference in people's lives the results take care of themselves. Let's pursue excellence. And I also, I didn't write this down, but hanging in my house is a sign that was made for me by one of my clients. And the sign that they made was actually one of my quotes that I have said, and then it's in one of my books. And it simply is, love the life you live and love those you live it with. And that quote for me, we have it hanging in our family area, in our home. It was so special that one of my clients read the book and said that's what spoke to them the most. Really, when we take our story and our sphere of influence and our excellence and simply just say, I'm going to love my life and I'm going to love the people that I live it with, that is full. Whether you are sheltered at home or whether you are in a stadium of 100,000 people or whatever you are doing, that to me is living a full life and making a difference to change the world.
I think that's the point. Let's focus on what we can do. What can you do?
Yeah, and one of the lines I use for that all the time is I say, control what you can control. There are a lot of things in life that are outside of your control, but what can you do that you can control? And I always remind people, you can always control what you're thinking, what you're saying, and in most part, you can control your actions of what you're doing. You cannot control any of those things from other people. And we get so caught up in what other people are doing and what other people are saying. Control what you can control. And it is an interesting time. And I think kind of like Derek, he's now found this new platform, which I think, is so awesome every day. And at 3:21, you guys are going live. And now you're saying, I think I'm going to keep doing it. Right. So here's this opportunity to control what you can control. And I had a friend of mine a couple of weeks that I had co-authored a book with. And he said, you know what, we need to do something right now. We need to help people right now. And so I recorded the entire book as an audiobook because everybody's sitting around right now and taking long walks. And so literally about a week and a half ago, I put one of my books up on my website. You can go to foxpoint.net, and under resources, one of my books there called You're Missing a Great Game, which is really a play on words. It's about not showing up. We don't want to miss the great game. And it's there for free. It's an audiobook. All the chapters are right there. And it's just that opportunity to say, what can you control? And then go do something with what you control. And so we're always going to have things in our life out of our control, but control what you can control and then do something positive that helps somebody else. And, our mama's always said, right, if you don't have something to say that's nice, don't say anything at all. Well, I don't think that's quite true. But I think if we're going to say something, let's make it purposeful. I don't like nice. I like kind. Nice is telling people what they want to hear. Kind is telling them what they need to hear.
Yes.
And so, that's just some thoughts there based on what you were saying.
We need to hear it. Derek, I can tell, I see your eyes twinkling over there. I can see it through the camera. You look like you have something you're wanting to say to us.
That's because this isn't water.
Well,
cheers.
I love it. Well, I do have water, at least right now.
And here's the difference. We think to be happy, we have to go and get things and discover things and learn and receive and all that. And to be happy, man, all you have to do is give. Like it's ironic to think about, but I mean, think about the most generous person you've ever met. There's no way I could know who you're thinking about, but I would bet my life that they're happy, right? And that's not Derekology. That's just truth. That when we choose to have a life where we're focused on giving, then the irony is that it makes you happy. I call it selfish generosity. If I had written a book, that would be a chapter in one of my books, audiobook or regular book. It would be called Selfish Generosity, because I really believe, and I try to live that it is. I mean, even if your motivation was exclusively, I need to feel happier or feel better, and that was the only reason that you were generous or helped or volunteered or did so, even selfishly, you just did it for that reason, I genuinely believe you would feel happier, not as happy as if it was pure, or coming from your soul, but just God created us in a way that it's beautiful, man. I mean, we all need happiness, and it's free. It's like right there, just go volunteer or go give or, donate, whatever. There's not a rule of what that has to be, but it's counterintuitive. I need to be happy. So I got to find someone that's going to coach me to be happier. I got to find a counselor or whatever. Nothing wrong with all of those things, but we have free access to contentment, to joy by giving, right? And I see this in Julie every day.
So, all right. Well, hey, you guys, we're gonna bring our unconference to a close, and really want to just thank you guys so much for tuning in live. We will drop this recording out all over social media, but we would really appreciate it if you would share it too. Encourage your friends to watch and get to know Derek and Randy and learn a little bit about our I've Decided organization and how we can help you achieve your goals and dreams. And to all of our members, we had quite a few of you guys tuning in live on Facebook. I really appreciate you, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you are a part of our organization. And it's been great. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts before we sign off?
Thanks for having me. Great to be with y'all. God bless you.
So I hope you guys enjoyed reminiscing with us, watching this pre-recorded unconference. And as I promised, I wanted to share 8 things at the end that you can do to enjoy your life more. Hopefully you've written some of these down by listening to or watching the video, and you found some of these things, but just in case, one of them, look for opportunities in obstacles. Derek talked a lot about that, how we can find opportunities in obstacles. And Randy said, remember, life is about choices. He also said, keep in mind that every season comes to an end. I think that's so true. We have to remember that this too shall pass, right? Develop in the downtime. Don't panic. So when there's downtime, work on developing your skills. Don't panic. Don't fight the closed doors. That's a good one. Sometimes we really, when the door is closed and it's not what we thought should happen, it's really difficult to find the joy in that. And I think Randy's the one that said we shouldn't fight closed doors. He also said, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. I think that's so important. And then, of course, Derek left us with one of my favorites, and that was to be generous. When you're generous, when you give, when you volunteer, when you give your time, your talent, your money, there's just so much joy in that, and it's just a great way to enjoy life. So those were the 8 things that you could do, and hopefully you picked up by listening to or watching this pre-recorded video that we made in the spring of 2020. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and happy Labor Day.